What is going on, everybody? It is episode 907 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett. I am here once again with my co-host. Introduce yourself, please.
Hello, Crisis actors. It's Mary. I noticed how you kind of placed some extra oomph on that 907.
Well, what would I
It's a
used to
big
say?
number.
Would I say 907 before? I feel like it's better to enunciate the whole word.
Right. You just
right?
gotta go in.
Yeah. Like, we're the show that puts emphasis on, like, the 100-episode milestones, right? So
IRL doesn't give an F.
Yeah, they don't even mention
They
it.
just keep going. They just keep pushing.
What episode are they on right now? Two zillion?
I don't even
3 zillion?
know.
You know?
I remember
idea. No
the
idea?
first one I was on. I shouldn't even say this because people are going to find it. But the first one I was on was, I think, episode 555. That's why it's easy to remember.
But they're well over 1,000.
I have no idea where they're at now. Anyway, we have Phil joining us today, of course.
Hello, everybody. My name is Phil Labonte. I'm the lead singer of the heavy metal band All That Remains. I'm an anti-communist and counter-revolutionary, and we can talk about all kinds of slop now.
That's a great shirt you've got on.
Thank you.
Where'd you get that?
The internet. I actually don't remember. I saw it on
I
some
stand with
website.
Lockheed Martin if you're listening rather than watching.
Well,
Yes.
who doesn't really? You know?
Great stuff.
I have my Raytheon shirt to put on after work. That's what I go out in.
It's your pajama pants.
Yes.
The Raytheon pajama pants.
You know what? Honestly, like, if they wanted to get into the market just because of the hullabaloo that falls around the brands right now, there should be BlackRock merch. There should be Vanguard merch. There should be State Street merch. And there should be Lockheed Martin. And there should be Raytheon merch.
Okay, controversial thing to say, but I think this is so random. If there were anyone in Congress who is a Cookie Monster pajama pants girl,
What on earth is a Cookie
It's Lauren
Monster?
Boebert.
What is a cookie, like...
am I
you're talking
right?
about- You're talking about she wears Cookie Monster pajamas?
You know those girls who, maybe this wasn't your generation, I don't know, but the girls who wear the Cookie Monster pajama pants, like they wear them to Walmart, they wear them out and about, they wear them to school. Not for my school because we had uniforms, but yeah.
I mean,
I disapprove.
That's Lauren Boebert.
she's pretty put together.
But those tribal tattoos, though.
But there is a whiff of methadone clinic.
Oh no. You took it to a whole new level. I wasn't ready for that.
There is okay.
I meant it endearingly.
There could be
kind of
diverging paths where it's like she had two choices in life: methadone clinic or Congress. And that's where she ended up. You know, the federal government is basically just a disgusting, slop house anyways.
The House of Representatives is basically a
You've all seen
glorified
pictures of
methadone
her.
clinic.
You've both seen pictures of her when she was, like, before she went to Congress, right? She was a waitress at that gun-slinging...
Well,
saloon or whatever.
she owned a gunslinging saloon that went out of business.
I saw that she had like a profile on some talent website for like actors and actresses and models.
I mean, me
stuff
and you
like
are
that.
always constantly surprised by how many people in this space.
Oh, yeah.
We're like, why do they have like we have IMDb pages for like this show and for I guess like the other Timcast shows, or if you do other streams.
Yeah.
There is some hero out there who's uploading your stuff to IMDb.
Thank you, whoever you are.
I don't know, from across the restaurant.
07s to that guy.
But like these are people that have like actual credits to their name, and you're like, how did you end up here?
Yeah. A lot of former theater kids in politics.
Funny how that works, right?
Yeah.
Guys, did we ever find out if Lauren Boebert did a review for Beetlejuice? We never found out.
Yeah, I don't think
should've
she was
done.
paying much attention.
She got groped at Beetlejuice the play and never even bothered to go see the movie.
I don't think her focus was really on the play.
That's true.
Does groped, was it groped when you're...
Fondled?
When it's intentional,
Perhaps?
Yes.
like when it's...
Oh,
welcome?
yeah.
Grope has a negative connotation.
That's kind of what I'm getting at.
Fondled. She was
I
caressed.
don't. Whatever. Okay, we're done. We're done talking about Lauren Boebert.
Okay. Guys, hit the like button on this video and subscribe to the channel, perhaps, if you are new here and you have not subscribed here yet already. How has this discussion not convinced you to subscribe to this
This is
channel
great
yet?
stuff.
This is thrilling stuff, I tell you. So hit the like button. Again, get the likes up. I was looking at the likes on our lives earlier. We need to get those numbers up, guys. It tells the algorithm. It tells the algorithm that you're liking the content, and hopefully then it will subscribe. It will tell you to watch more of it. So go ahead and do that. What are we getting into today? Well, from Lauren Boebert to Lana Del Rey. They're very, very different people. Lana Del Rey got married recently, and she's now got a cover on the cover of W magazine.
Yes.
Which is what? Women's magazine? Just
I don't know
Women
what the
Inc.?
W stands for, but it's just one of the major fashion magazines. Anyway, the point is not really what's in the interview, but the photo that they
Yes.
used of her on the cover is an absolute travesty. They edited her face to make her look like Voldemort.
A little bit. She
And-
looks worm-like.
Expected people to not notice.
So we're
Yeah,
gonna
super
talk
creepy.
about that, and we'll put up side by side so you guys can tell us if you would have clocked it. Perhaps you wouldn't have. I maintain that I might not have noticed until Mary pointed it out. But we're gonna talk about that. Also, Melania Trump is in the news because the fascists over at Vanity Fair. That's what what's his name over at Breitbart called them. The fascists over at Vanity Fair are saying that if they put her on the cover of the magazine, then the mid-level bureaucrats are just going to walk out and they're going to take their staffers with them. The staffers who are making $6 an hour and living 12 people in an apartment in Manhattan, I'm sure, are saying that they're going to leave if she's on the cover because her husband's a despot and they're evil. So we're going to talk about that. Also,
I can't believe people still like get this fired up about Trump in 2025. Like even they're tired.
like those are the type of, you know what it is? It's the culture around people who watch The Office 500 times and still like it as much now as they did the first time. That's yeah. Well, other such people, they're like, yo, I'm just as happy being mean about Trump now as I was in
Never
2016.
gets old.
It
It's
never
just
gets old.
all reliable.
So we're
for them.
gonna talk about that. Also, I came across this horrible article, and now you have to learn about it too. About divorce.
What?
It's a terrible word.
It's a terrible name, but it's women who are blaming menopause for their divorce. They're getting divorced from their husbands.
Well, they're thanking menopause for
Yes,
the
they're
divorce.
thanking
Actually,
that.
they're gleeful about divorce that is caused by menopause. It just makes you start having all of these groundbreaking revelations in your psyche, and you realize you don't want to be living the rest of your days this later stage of life with your husband of however many decades.
because they're bad
you
people.
want to live for yourself and go on cruises.
Yep. So we're gonna do that. You guys ready to go?
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go for it.
Will Smith is suffering a self-inflicted PR nightmare
Oh,
right
man.
now.
That's rough.
He recently posted a video from one of his concerts that immediately clocked to people as being heavily edited, AI generated. At the very least, something was giving them Uncanny Valley vibes about this whole video. And we're not sure if Will Smith is to blame for this or someone on his team or maybe YouTube itself.
Yeah.
So let's show the video where people are using this to accuse him of, pretending to have fans.
Okay. So here's the one from Fearbuck.
Dog runs out of range.
Sorry, I gotta mute it, Will.
Okay, so just like look at the texture of the faces and the cardboard
there you can see
signs,
it.
and the lighting is very weird.
Do you know what primed everybody for this? It's all of the Sigma grind set
The
edits
filters.
the filters that they
Do you
put
see
over
the
it.
chick that you just showed who's like holding up the sign before this? She's doing this. She's going like this. No one actually moves like that. Like she looks like an animatronic person. And they're all
So this is the one that drew everybody's
yeah,
attention.
you can make it. What did it say? Helped me survive cancer. Thanks, Will.
Yep.
Okay. Like the font that they have on the cardboard signs also looks like a lot of AI generated text I've seen before.
Okay.
And everyone's just
Bopping along.
crying their eyes out because he just means so much to them.
I wonder if he was playing Miami when they were
Not a
sick.
phone in sight, except for when they pan away from the crowd and you see
Yes.
lights everywhere, right? Isn't that weird?
That is weird.
All the crowd footage is up close. No one has their phone in the air. And then when they zoom out away from the crowd, it's phones everywhere. So yeah, I think he's trying to astroturf himself into relevancy. I don't know if he's personally responsible for this because he did post the same video on Instagram and it didn't look like this. It looked completely natural and normal. And the lighting was not giving me Uncanny Valley. It's just a high definition video. Yeah. And
Here's
so people are saying that it's actually YouTube's fault
Yep, because YouTube is now AI
Yes.
smoothing everybody's faces without
And
your permission.
You can't
Really?
opt out of it.
Thankfully.
YouTube has just started using this feature on shorts content. They're secretly using AI to edit people's videos. Skin is being smoothed or sharpened. Features like ears are being altered. YouTube did confirm there is an experiment on shorts to, quote, unblur and improve clarity. And there is currently no way to opt out of this feature. And it was confirmed by this guy who works at YouTube. He literally calls himself the YouTube liaison on X. Responded to some of the criticism and said, we're not using Gen AI, no generative AI, no upscaling. We're running an experiment on select YouTube shorts that uses traditional machine learning tech to unblur, denoise, and improve clarity in videos during processing, similar to what a modern smartphone does when you record a video. YouTube is always working on ways to provide the best video quality and experience possible, and will continue to take creator and viewer feedback into consideration as we iterate and improve these features. Okay. So I don't think it's an improvement in quality because it literally looks less real. It looks like a low quality video that was put through a filter. And the original version that he posted looks better. Yeah. So there was no improvement made. And the distortion of the text on the cardboard signs makes me think it is using generative AI and he's lying. Which
this person here on Instagram, Heather Ashley Boyer, says, this is AI. My face and body was used in this, and I was definitely not there in real life. It just straight up copied and pasted me. But she had, like, her whole page is about, like, SAG-AFTRA, and I don't know if I buy it.
Methinks ulterior motives.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put any stock into that.
Yeah, but they're not allowing anybody to opt out of this feature. They're just using all of the content for their own technology and data harvesting.
You spend a bunch of money to get a nice, like, long lens so that you can have, like, good blur behind you, like depth of field when you're shooting your videos, and YouTube just finds a way to unblur it.
Everything is the highest definition possible.
Yeah. It's also one of those things, like, the way that people record what is called content now is so different from what it was, like, 20 years ago. Like, it took me a very long time doing this to get used to being in the center of a frame, because if you work in that industry, you don't frame anything in the center. That the rule of thirds exists for a reason. It's not interesting to see somebody framed in the center of a shot if you're shooting something that's a movie or a television show. Even interviews, most of the time, if you're shooting something, like if we were doing an interview together, I'd be framed on the left and you'd be framed on the right, so that when you shoot between them, it doesn't feel like somebody's just replacing the body right in the middle with somebody else there. So the way that content is created now is so vastly different from the way it was taught to people even 15 years ago. And the technology is doing that as well as all of the, whether it's upscaling for programs like this, like nothing looks real, like nothing feels authentic anymore.
Yeah.
Like there is such a thing, like a lot of people, they put a lot of, they'll put YouTube videos in 60 frames per second upscaling, and it looks horrible. Mary loves that though. You love the 60 frames per second because it looks like you turned off the motion blur on your TV.
Oh, I love motion blur personally.
No,
It's
you
my
like
preference.
it. You like it when it's off.
Oh, when it's off, right?
Yeah.
Right. It's like nostalgic for me.
Yeah, Mary wants everybody to look like stick figures, like when they're moving around.
As much detail, all the time as imaginable.
Yeah,
watching like movies on your grandparents' television as a kid, and the motion blur is off.
Well, it's what happens when you watch soap operas.
Feels like having
soap
a fever
operas
dream.
Look like that. Yeah,
I like it, but I don't like this. And two theories. One is that Will Smith is just desperately scratching his way up the ladder, and like he's just trying to maintain relevancy when, he's a has-been, and that's just the truth.
I mean, I just saw a thing today. I just saw a thing today that the Backstreet Boys are making more money right now on residency in Las Vegas than they've ever made in their entire career.
Yeah.
He should just go do a freaking Vegas residency.
That would probably do well for him. Yeah.
Like they said that like there's like no overhead because they're in the same place every night. They paid like $8 million flat for all of the graphics that show up. Is it like the Sphere or whatever, like wherever all the graphics show up on, and they're pulling in just millions and millions of dollars.
Even though Vegas is like falling off.
I was just thinking that. I wonder wonder how long that can be sustained, considering the amount of people that go to Vegas is way down. I know a lot of that has to do with booze. Like young people don't go and drink the way that older people do.
Yeah, but it's not. But Backstreet Boys, it's millennials, and that's who Will Smith's audience
and
would
Gen
be.
X.
And Gen X, like that. Those are the ones that are going to see him.
But Vegas tourism is down by a lot, and it is, as you said, to do with Gen Z not drinking, but they also just don't show up there, and they gamble with their smartphones at home. So
that's that is extremely true.
And
They're
they
like,
don't
why
have,
would I go?
They don't have money for vacations, period. So
they're like, look, I can go watch a Backstreet Boys YouTube video and gamble on.
Vegas is falling off for other reasons.
One
but
of the things that people might not realize is like if you're going to Vegas, you can get a package with like any number of the casino hotels that's actually very reasonable because they want you to go there and spend your money gambling.
Right.
Because that's all pure profit.
That was what it was before. Like, that was why the alcohol was free, and they would get you anything to get you in the door.
Yep.
Well, life hack: become a gambling addict, and they'll give you free vacations. My other theory as to why this is happening on YouTube's end is they're basically trying to acclimate us to AI-generated visuals so that it will be undetectable whether something is real or not real or somewhere in the middle. So if everyone's human generated content still looks indistinguishable from AI generated content, you're not going to be turned off from watching AI content in the future. That's kind of the first step in forcing this, manufacturing consent for this to take over our screens.
Also, they think Will Smith is broke.
Yeah, there was a recent report that Will Smith's money woes are revealed. Hollywood outcast struggling to maintain properties as his $400 million fortune dwindles. It says married stars Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith have been downsizing their property holdings, and insiders say he is struggling to foot the massive upkeep costs that are burning a major hole in his bank account as his career dwindles. Sources said the couple listed a Woodland Hills home in March for $2 million and previously sold a 5-bedroom house in Maryland for $795K before the notorious Oscars slapgate in 2022.
Look, I don't know if I believe this.
Spending an absolute fortune maintaining the rest of their properties, and somewhere down the road it's going to fall to pieces. As rich as Will is, it's getting harder to keep up with enormous bills, especially with them not living together. Yeah, they're no longer together. Things are still not resolved between them, and it's looking more and more like that'll be a permanent split, but he's still on the hook for expenses. Ever since Slapgate, it's been a stream of money pouring out and very little coming in, even though he's trying to tour right now and put out new music.
Oh,
I guess Pretty Girls wasn't exactly smashing the charts.
Slapgate was 2023?
22.
So Bad Boys Ride or Die was 2024. He was both a star of that movie and a producer. He was a producer, an executive producer on Cobra Kai, all the way up until its end.
He said, Will is not bringing in the kind of cash you would expect to sustain the kind of lifestyle that he and Jada Pinkett Smith enjoy. Everything he seems to do gets hammered, and he was torn to pieces over his music comeback. People hated his album, mocked his lyrics, calling them silly. It's going to take more than a wing and a prayer to get Will out of his financial mess.
We'll have to wait and see, but again,
I think a lot of celebrities are pretending to be rich when they're richer than they are by a lot.
Yeah, he's gonna have to sell that.
It's all about appearances.
Red Table Talk. They're gonna have to sell the table from Red Table Talk.
Could they auction that off?
Yeah, we'll have to auction it off to somebody.
Nobody wants that.
The cuck table.
Nobody wants that.
He should make Wild Wild West 2. That's what he should do.
I don't know. He's just not cool anymore. I don't remember a time when Will Smith was cool.
The idea, though, or the idea that he's not making enough money to pay for his bills, like his expenses have got to be insane.
Enormous,
because Cobra Kai was successful, and Bad Boys, 2 or whatever was successful as well.
It's like 4 at that point.
4, is it?
Faux life.
Well, I mean, that was fairly successful. I can't imagine that it's a bad showing at the box office, because I feel like, and this is just my impression, but I feel like the people that would go to see Will Smith kind of don't stay up with what is or isn't cool, right?
Yeah.
If Will Smith fell off, the people that want to see Will Smith don't know that Will Smith fell off because they're probably older, my age or older.
Yeah,
you know?
even they gotta go see him at a Vegas residency.
Even the cardboard signs they were holding up in the, whether they were real or not in the video, were all about like, remember when you were cool? Like, take us back to Bel Air. One of the signs said that.
Somebody's gonna make an AI videos like remember like don't you want to go back to a time when Will Smith was cool?
Yeah.
Like that 80s video?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I do want to go back to that
I imagine
time.
there's a lot of nostalgia in that audience.
All right. Well, I maintain you should go get a Vegas residency. You'll be all right. All right.
Okay.
Let's move on.
A TikToker recently revealed one of her dating nightmares. She was showing up for a first date with a guy and he totally flaked out and ghosted her. Some people are saying that it's because you can't be a nice girl these days. You can't do anything nice because guys don't appreciate it. And other people are saying that she's absolutely insane and that this guy dodged a bullet and he was turned off by how overly eager she was. She showed up for this date with a whole dinner for him, partly what she made at home. She also bought all the food for them, and he completely ghosted her.
Let's watch this. You guys can make up your mind.
This is a video to the guy who flaked on me on our date. I just wanted to show you what I was gonna bring to you. Now you're ghosting me last minute. So weird. So childish. So, I'm Latina. I got you some tacos. Really good. From my favorite tacos place. I made you some homemade horchata. Agua horchata. Because you said you liked that and I made it. And some Mexican corn muffins with honey butter. Handmade. You know, let me know why you ghosted me. That's crazy.
It does suck.
I already crashed out, you guys, but damn.
This is post.
You can only imagine how that shit feels. All you had to do is answer the phone. And I had everything planned out. Oh, God. It's okay, you guys. We thug through. Because you know what? Fuck this lover girl shit. I guess we had to go on our villain arc.
I feel like
I guess this shit is not worth it. This shit's not real. There's the sign. Yeah, there you go. So, I'll see you guys next time in the next video.
I mean, that sucks.
Dug out.
But I don't know.
Bug out.
I mean, that sucks, but I mean, do you think that, I mean, I wonder how often this happens to this girl?
If you're crying because the date fell through on the first time you've ever, it was from a dating app.
She didn't say that,
But
but you can only assume.
That's a bit nutty. That's a bit nutty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like that's, I don't mean to be mean, but that's a little bit nutty. That's like,
Yeah.
you know, threaten you with a, like with a letter opener nutty. Like, now if this was like, this is somebody she knew for a long time and they finally agreed to go out on a date and she goes through all of these steps and then he stands her up, valid. This is like, the dating market must be rough for someone if just getting stood up on the first date is enough to send you crashing out.
Yeah.
Am I being too harsh on her? So people in the comments are saying she's love bombing.
People on X are tearing her apart, and the people on TikTok are building her up and saying you shouldn't let this guy, you know, destroy your self-esteem. Never stop being a good person because of bad people. Rejection is protection.
She shouldn't let bad people turn her into a different person.
Girl,
they're right.
Your husband is on the way. You are a gem.
And yes,
you're too good for him. It's his loss.
The guy who ghosted her is also inconsiderate and rude.
Yeah.
Not a good dude.
Ghosting is incredibly common among Zoomers, and not just in dating, but with all commitments. Like, Zoomers will just ghost anything. Team sports, jobs, family members, dating included in that.
Does Irish goodbyes count as
no, that's
ghosting?
not ghosting. That's not ghosting.
Well, Zoomers don't even do Irish goodbyes because they don't show
goodbye,
up in
you
the
had to
first
show
place.
up in the first place.
Yeah.
That's not the same thing.
But most of the people on X, on the other hand, are saying that she showed up with an off-putting level of enthusiasm for someone that she doesn't know. And it probably scared this guy off. Not that he is right to ghost.
Correct.
But this person said, I can understand a guy being unsure about this kind of devotion shown early on before there is trust built. It implies an impulsive nature that doesn't bode well long term. When there is that much drama early, there will be drama later.
It feels volatile to me.
Yeah, and the emotional outburst and broadcasting it online for sympathy is a bad sign as well.
Having it made into a video and ending it with going on my villain arc just reeks of terminally online.
And this isn't even the crash out. This is after the crash out. I can't imagine what the crash out looked like.
This woman says he is ghosting you because you love bombed him. Then you made this video to victimize yourself and gain sympathy. He knows that if someone does this on the first date, they are either too desperate to love or be loved. This is over the top. One cookie or muffin or a cup of coffee seems all right. Men like women with self-respect, and no, you don't have to go on a villain arc. As a woman, you are supposed to respond based on his feelings, emotions, and actions. You can't just pour love like a dam because it becomes actions. You can't just there's a whole spiel here. The point being that I don't know about love bombing. Like love bombing, in my opinion, implies nefarious intent, as if you're doing it with like the express purpose of manipulating him, because that's how that language is couched. I don't know if I buy that. Being overly enthusiastic doesn't mean you have nefarious intent, but it can be off-putting to someone.
But I have said, like, the worst people are the ones who talk about themselves as hopeless romantics. If anyone calls themselves a hopeless romantic, that is an immediate red flag. When they say, my biggest flaw is that I just like love too hard. I fall in love too fast. Like, they're crazy. They are crazy. They're loony. And she seems loony.
That like when someone says, oh, you know, like that kind of stuff, like I love too much, or
yeah,
like, yeah.
Okay, so
it's not a good thing.
In the chat, Serial Killer says, "Nah, she caught feelings for a dumbass." But the thing is, you shouldn't be catching feelings if it's like the first date and
or
you
even
haven't
like
even
his
met
second.
Yet. Like
date.
that's an issue.
Another reply from a woman said, he's ghosting you because you love bombed him. Then you made this video to victimize yourself and gain sympathy. He knows that if someone does this on the first date, they're either too desperate to love or to be loved. This is over the top. One cookie or muffin or a cup of coffee is all right. Men like women with self-respect.
Yes.
Another one said, the issue isn't that she's thoughtful. I like women who show different forms of affection and aren't just on the receiving end. The issue is that she expects a reward for being thoughtful, and then being considerate should be a natural characteristic and not something you do simply to earn someone's attention. Like, it's a little bit too much like, I'm such a nice girl. Like, she's literally the female version of the nice guy who complains about how girls don't like nice guys.
Yeah. I mean, there was also, like, at the same time, I saw the topic the other day of, like, it's like an old meme of Denzel Washington looking out the window. He's like, after you spend $450 on a date and all you get is a hug.
$450 on a date is kind of crazy.
And that's like, and everyone's like, and all the women are like, what are you doing? Like, what is this prostitution? What are you expecting from this person? And I'm just like, who, like, is it the first date? Because if you spent $450, that is crazy work.
Yeah, what? I think
because there's two options there. Like, either it's a lot of money to you and you're expecting something in return, in which case, no. Or it's not a lot of money to you, in which case this is just a typical first date for you that might or might not go somewhere.
This is why
it all scales.
Zoomers are constantly talking about yearning. Like, I'm a true yearner. I'm a true lover girl. I'm a true lover boy, whatever. I can't exist in this nonchalant dating culture. Everything is so nonchalant, but I want to be chalant.
And the guy shouldn't have ghosted her. The guy shouldn't have done that.
But nobody is like defending ghosting or flaking. They're just saying like it has something to do with your behavior.
I mean, maybe the guy's just that's to say that we're making the assumption that because she's behaving like this in this video that she had similar, I guess what they would call red flags in the lead up to it. There's no evidence of that. We don't know that. He could just be a dick.
Another reply from a woman said, her planning everything was pick me. It's the man's job to plan the date. This is stuff you do for a serious relationship. Yeah, if she did this for a boyfriend, that would be fine. And I agree with that. I don't think that a woman should go out of her way to like plan dates this early on. Yeah. That isn't even pick me because you're not going to get picked by doing that. That's counterproductive. Like, even if men don't know that it's a turnoff, they subconsciously know that it's a turnoff. Like they are basically like letting the woman take the lead in that situation, and it's disturbing. Someone said this is the same as guys buying flowers on the first date.
No.
I don't think that's actually a comparable situation at all.
No.
Yeah, I think that.
Remember there was that video that went viral like a year ago of like the bigger guy holding the flowers before the date.
Yeah, and everyone absolutely dragged him for that.
I mean, people went back and forth about whether that was an appropriate thing for the first date because he had like half dozen roses or a dozen roses or something.
If it's a first date from a dating app, that is a little much.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's different if you met someone organically and go on a
Well,
first
that's what I'm saying. Like if this was two people that knew each other from work and they went and did this, I guess, I would understand her. But again, she turned her phone on and turned it into a video, so it's hard to not.
Crying in your car on TikTok is never a good idea.
Yeah.
I've cried in my car, never recorded it. Never even thought to record it.
I feel like crying and recording it at all is a terrible idea.
Ever, no matter where you are.
And flowers are expensive these days.
They are.
I learned that very recently.
The nonchalance that plagues the dating world today is honestly, it can be entirely blamed on dating apps.
And you want chalants. You want people to chalant more.
Yeah,
chalant is the ideal.
Yeah.
But you can only be chalant if you meet someone in real life. If you meet them off a dating app, that, again, I've said this before, is the lowest amount of investment you could possibly have, which is why people are paranoid about getting flaked on, getting ghosted, getting catfished. You have no idea who this person is, if they are who they say they are, if their intentions are what they're stating they are. So you're more likely to have things like this happen.
All right. What would you like to see, cringe or cute of the day?
Cringe, please.
Cringe first? Okay.
This is a good one.
It's a good one?
Yeah.
Okay. Here we go.
Honestly, I think it's funny, but I don't know what you guys are going to think.
Isn't that kind of the point of cringe?
Sometimes.
Hi. How much for a picture with Bugs Bunny?
They start at $34.99.
Oh, really? Is he okay?
This is a saga.
Hi.
Get ready.
He looks like he's
He has the
floating.
same face all the time.
Seriously?
Yep.
He's not high, is he?
No.
He looks like it.
Whatever.
Huh? Oh. You okay, bud?
Hi.
His hand can't change shape, so he can't give you a thumbs up.
Right.
What's his name?
Easter Bunny?
Oh, I thought that was Bugs Bunny.
I hate this man.
Excuse me, ma'am. Could you move?
There's no personal
No,
cameras
there's no
in here.
personal cameras.
I'm just trying to get a little...
There's no personal cameras in here.
Ban this man from the internet.
I'm on his
Just
side.
a little to the side.
No.
What
There's
if...
no personal cameras in here.
I am going to call security. Honey, can you get my phone, please?
How much for a picture with Santa?
They start at $39.99.
No way. Is he okay?
Yeah, he's okay. Why?
He's not high, is he?
That's a dumb question.
I hate this man. Ban this man
Going
from the mall.
on for months.
How much for a picture with Bugs Bunny?
They start at $39.99.
But wasn't
$39.99.
It's a year later.
Wasn't the first number $34.99? Inflation's a bitch.
I would, if I were her, I'd be going up every single time he asks as well.
Is he okay?
Hi, I know who you are.
Who?
I know who you are. I know you put these on
We'll just
the
call
internet.
security and have him come down.
So we're gonna have to ask you to leave.
Leave? What do you mean? I'm not allowed to watch Bugs Bunny take pictures?
He's gonna get the glasses next.
Hi. How much for a picture with Bugs Bunny?
They start with $39.99.
Oh, okay.
You want to take a look at it? Yep,
Is
that's
he okay?
Is he-
It's that guy from the internet. Just ignore him.
He's not.
We've already. I'm gonna report you to security. Ryan, call security. This is that guy that keeps doing that.
What guy? He's not high, is he?
That's ham check.
Hand check.
I'm here. I'm out here. Austin, look right. Don't look right.
I was just wanting to know the price.
People are they're at work, dude. I hate this guy. This is, you know what this is? This is the not funny version of Put a Girl On.
I was about to say, like, this guy
Put a Girl On was funny.
Put a Girl On walked so that this guy could run.
This guy needs to be banned from the internet. He needs to be banned from that mall, and we need to send him to Uganda. Like
No,
Trump-
I don't like that chick. I don't like the chick that runs the Easter Bunny stand. I don't like her.
I stand with her and
She's
the poor
annoying.
guy in the Easter Bunny costume who's just trying to make a living.
I have no idea if this is real, but somebody commented, "This is my aunt."
I see that.
I know she's acting like she doesn't care, but she still talks about you all the time.
What's the Put a Girl On guy? I don't.
Oh,
know.
he calls all of these businesses
Taco Bells.
and he mostly Taco Bells, and he keeps them, or like a GameStop, and he keeps them on the phone for like a long ass conversation, and then he's like, "Put a girl on." And he's absolutely terrorizing them.
That was funny. This guy is awful. I want this man. I want this man deported.
She's like a Karen, though. She's like annoying.
She's doing her job. You can't be a Karen if
She
you're
seems
the
like
worker.
someone who calls Neighborhood Watch.
She's working.
She seems
She's
like
doing her job.
Nah, she gives me Neighborhood Watch vibes. She gives me
Power
like
to the people.
she gives me Nightmare of the HOA vibes.
No.
You know I'm right.
Oh, I just had my first run-in with the HOA from my area.
Really?
Yeah, I'll get
Really?
into it later.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Stories for another day.
I don't know. I think that Bugs Bunny is on drugs, and this guy's just trying to save Bugs Bunny.
This guy is a menace to society. He's a menace to society.
They're drugging Bugs Bunny.
Is he on drugs?
I'm sure Bugs Bunny does the drugs all on his own.
I bet he is on drugs. This is the funny thing.
Look, like if he wants to do this with like a mascot at a sporting event, they get paid good money. Like a basketball team mascot or a baseball mascot, they make pretty good money. You know, you want to heckle a little bit? Fine.
At the sports games, the mascots are the ones that are heckling you in the
Exactly.
crowd. I've
He
had mascots
will
like
push-
throw sunflower seeds at me.
He will push back at you. The Easter Bunny has been hampered by his contract and isn't allowed to come out and slap this dude.
It's messed up.
All right, let's get. That was a horror.
We have cute of the day.
Yes, we need it now. We absolutely need it now. All right.
I don't care. I'm on his side.
This is from McKenna Olivia. Says Kenny, short for Kensington, cutest of the day, every day.
So
Adorable.
cute.
That is a very
This
cute
is
puppy.
my favorite breed of dog, and you know this is
Really?
funny because people think I hate dogs, but Cavaliers, the Cavalier King Charles Spaniel is the cutest breed of dog. I've had two, and they're adorable. So love the name too. Mine were Winston and Clementine.
Winston's a good name.
Winston for Winston Churchill, Clementine for his wife.
Okay.
Very British.
Somebody in the chat called him Drugs Bunny.
Drugs Bunny. He bugging. Bugs Bunny is
Whoever
bugging.
said that was really. I'm sorry, I can't. I've already
approve of it.
scrolled past it,
Drugs
but
Bunny.
that was really funny. All right, let's get started.
All right. Lana Del Rey is about to promote her upcoming album, which is called Stove. I have no idea why it's called Stove, but maybe she'll reveal the reason soon. It's supposed to come out in January of 2026, so she's starting to do press at the moment, and she just graced the cover of W Magazine. The real thing that grabbed my attention about this interview was the photo that they used on the cover. I immediately knew they've replaced Lana Del Rey. This is a clone. I don't know what's going on here, but this isn't the Lana I know.
Before you saw it, so did you clock it before you saw the people comparing it online?
I wasn't going to say anything, but when I saw the cover before the original photo, I definitely thought they did her dirty with the Photoshop. Like, something is off about this. Or I thought that she was like really overdoing it with the Ozempic. So here is the before and after comparison. You can see that switches back and forth in the video.
Sorry, I have to mute
the original is the one where her hair and her face is wider.
Here's the after. There's the before.
She looks better in the before image.
She does.
Why did they do this? I just don't understand.
Well, the question is, why did she allow it?
Well, she probably just didn't have creative control over what they did with the cover, and didn't realize they were going to do this to her. She looks like an alien in the edited version. She looks like Voldemort, Lana. It's terrifying. I definitely clocked it before I saw the comparison. I knew that they did something weird.
Not to aside, but I put a poll up. I said, was the first date girls crash out valid? I want to know.
Yeah. Or, you know, did the guy dodge a bullet?
It was not valid.
Okay. So this prompted people to try to make improvements on the photo that they used, and it devolved into chaos. Here's one. I felt like their retouching was a little too subtle and unfinished, so I thought I would just go a little further. Finally, she looks beautiful enough for publication.
Then there's this one.
Everything else, some things still was wrong. Lana's beauty's almost there, but didn't express it enough. This is what her face could and should look like.
And of course...
This is insane. You know what? That's a good attempt, but coming back to this with some fresh eyes, I think we got so hung up on keeping it natural, we fell into the old barely making a difference trap. Here's a version where she actually looks decent, still being realistic, of course.
She does have a Michael Jackson nose in there.
Oh, and look at the next one. I think this is definitely an improvement. I just made her more accurate to how she actually looks like. Hope you guys love it. Then we get to just modern art territory here. Maybe they should have gone with this. But if oh no, not the next one.
It gets worse. Well, let's just skip to the next one. This one's bad enough, but here is Lana in all her glory.
I think those ones take the shine from her beautiful green eyes and golden hair, so I decided to make a few adjustments. Hope this helps.
Yeah, she's looking great.
Benedict Cumberbatch comparisons were made. I definitely see it.
Look, it feels
new beauty standards for the trad wives of Mars just dropped.
It feels like a discussion from the late 2000s to talk about Photoshop problems, doesn't it?
It is. It's kind of an anachronistic discussion.
It is.
But maybe they used AI on the photo.
See, then everybody would be behind, like, flaming this.
Right. Realistically, they probably did, and AI is probably being used on most magazine covers these days.
I mean, I don't know. Like, look, there's a lot of really, really talented Photoshop people out there, and these magazines keep very, very talented Photoshop artists on retainer.
They're gonna lose their gerbs, though. They're already losing their gerbs.
Like, if there was if there was something like added on there, maybe, but I'm guessing that it's just Photoshop.
But I did want to actually get into some of the substance of the interview aside from.
I'm sorry, somebody said
Lana
after getting the One Ring.
This says Lana Del Rey talks new album Finding Love and life in Louisiana. Having achieved pop icon status with her approach to music, the newlywed singer-songwriter has set her sights on country and perhaps actual cinema. She revealed that the upcoming album is a country album. Annoyingly, she pointed out, I was thinking about doing a country album like 8 years ago. And then now you see like everyone's doing country.
This is like one of those things. Everybody's got that friend who says he had an idea like 10 years ago that's popular now. And you're like, that doesn't matter because you didn't do anything about it.
You can only be a hipster about making a country album as a pop artist if you actually did it 8 years ago. You can't just say people are copying the idea that you had and didn't execute 8 years ago.
We did our cover of The Thunder Rolls in 2000. We recorded it in 2016, so.
There you go.
Do you feel that way? Do you relate with Lana?
No, I don't think that I do.
Okay. There's nothing that you thought about doing, but you didn't.
No, most of the things that I
Execute the
thought about
idea?
doing, we've executed. Yeah, most of the time.
No regrets?
No.
Okay.
No regrets.
Well, that's good. Then she talked about meeting Jeremy Dufresne, who, if you didn't know, is her new husband as of last year. He runs an alligator airboat tour business in Louisiana, in the Bayou, and he is much maligned for being an outspoken Trump supporter, a Facebook boomer, if you will. She said she went on one of his excursions back in 2019.
Do you think he falls for AI scams on Facebook?
Yes. They reconnected several years later and then married in September of last year. Like many people who work with large, dangerous beasts, Jeremy Dufresne has a calm, strong presence. Lana says, "When we met, I realized pretty immediately that I loved him, but that it might get difficult because of what I was bringing to the table." So she means all of the baggage of being famous and all of the baggage of her relationships in the past and the amount of coverage that it would get if they started dating. But Jeremy said, "I work with alligators. I have tough skin." And he is a man of his word. All the things that made me upset, and there were so many, he would just listen and say, "You be you, and I'll just love you more." Aww.
Okay, maybe he said that last part. I don't believe for a second that he said, "I work with alligators." Literally, he never said that. They're lying. And if he says he said that, he's lying too.
Well, he was present for this interview.
He's lying.
That they did. They say the first year of their married life has not been easy. They mentioned the fact that TMZ sent out drones to take surreptitious footage of their wedding from overhead.
Am I the only person who thinks that? Look, okay, Taylor Swift. You want to pull out a drone to catch images of the Taylor Swift wedding? I don't know if you deploy the drones for Lana Del Rey wedding.
They did, and it did have a lot of attention. I think it's because she's such a private person that people cared so much about her wedding.
Maybe, yeah.
And the fact that she hasn't been married before, which is something that people talked about a lot. Like, why hasn't she been able to settle down yet?
How old was she when she finally got married?
I think 38 or 39.
Okay, I mean,
forget how old she is.
Is it like better that than she hits 38 and she's been through 5 failed marriages?
Oh yeah, that's definitely better to just do it right the first time.
Good for her.
She's currently 40. She was 39 last year when they got married.
Good for her.
And she looks incredible. No need for AI or Photoshop, by the way. But then she says, the pop goddess who marries an unknown alligator tour guide story was too delicious for outlets like TMZ. They flew in drones to watch us. If I was him, Jeremy, I would have been nervous. My emotions were more overwhelming than usual, and my usual emotions can be quite overwhelming. But Jeremy was fine. He said, "If you want, worry about yourself, but don't worry about me." Because he's just such a down-to-earth country man. Yep. A red-blooded American. And they also talk about this thing they do together as a couple. Like, I guess every couple has things like this. They go to empty parking lots of like Macy's and Home Depot and just sit in the car in the parking lot and like read and talk in the car. They call it like their parking time. We have what we call parking time. We spend a lot of time in parking lots in the car.
You know who I want to hear a story about? If you ever, everybody's had this happen to them. Have you ever just like, you've had to like check something on your phone or like move something in your car and you go park in an empty parking lot and then some dude just comes and parks right next to you despite the fact
Always.
I wanted her to be like, we go find parking lots with one person in it and we just pull up right beside them.
Yeah, I guess that
happens to everybody, right? Like you're in the middle of a parking lot, there's nobody around, and some dude, and you're not even parked in the front.
What kind of psycho
You're parked in the back, and somebody just pulls up right next to you. Who is the psychopath that does that?
Truly unhinged behavior. She also mentions that one of the songs on her upcoming album, Stove, is dedicated to Jeremy, and it's called Stars Fell on Alabama. And that's how I knew this album is going to be super boring. But that's fine. You know, she's just in her era where she gets to do whatever she wants and chill and not care about fame. She even at the end of this interview
said...
she doesn't
have a song called Alligator Alley is...
She'll call the next album Alligator Alcatraz.
That's what it should be.
But she said, in response to being asked if she would ever write an autobiography, absolutely not. There have been too many personal things that I can't talk about. Sometimes I think it's a split between people hating me and people respecting my work. I've spent a lot of time thinking about that, but to be honest, thinking too much about that is a lose-lose situation. Now I try to be positive. I had a dream of a giant family and a happy life. I had to quiet the noise to find love, and I did.
Good for her.
She's got a healthier approach to fame than 99% of celebrities out there, so I have to applaud that.
Maybe he got hired to... I didn't see Happy Gilmore 2. Was there an alligator in Happy Gilmore 2?
I didn't see it.
There was. I wonder if he was hired to be the wrangler.
He could definitely use his skills in Hollywood. If they were willing to live in Hollywood, but I think they're staying in Louisiana for the foreseeable future. They swim in the bayou. She admitted that Jeremy swims with alligators because I guess the alligators in Louisiana aren't as aggressive as the ones in Florida.
Yeah.
And she also swims with the alligators with him.
I wonder if she likes that or if she just does it. She's insecure and she feels like she has to because he likes to.
If Lana dies from an alligator attack, that would actually be kind of poetic. She died doing what she loved.
Yeah, I'm expecting TMZ to fly a drone over for my wedding, but I'm not going to let them in.
Spelunking in the bayou.
It's I'm just going to read this one since we're here. Pop Culture Junkie says TMZ owns 3 high-end drones with telephoto cameras. That makes sense. They Harvey invested
They're the first
early.
to everything.
They are.
That's why.
I saw somebody in the chat earlier say TMZ is disgusting. TMZ is the first to break like every story. Like, disgusting or not, they're very good at their jobs, and they always end up with the security footage. Nobody knows how they get it. Is Harvey just passing on 50s to the bellhops at every hotel in the city? Yes, he is.
For the most part, they don't editorialize. They don't lie in their coverage. Okay, so they're very good about getting firsthand sources.
They editorialize a bit when it comes to Trump. They do. They are a little bit less journalistically they have a little bit less journalistic integrity when it comes to Trump. I've noticed that.
Even lately?
Even lately. But in general, most of the time, if it's other politicians, they call it not even right down the middle. They just report whatever it is, and then,
I have to give them props. I trust TMZ more than any other 3-letter organization.
Far more than I trust the FBI or the CIA or the NSA.
Absolutely. Yep. Okay, let's read some super chats. Shane H. Wilder said, "Happy Thrashing Thursday, Brett, Mary, and Phil. Man, last night's IRL went long, but it was a great discussion. Phil in the after show was chef's kiss. Why? What did you say in the after show?"
Well, we were talking about the burning flag issue again. Jack thinks that burning the flag is unacceptable, and I think that it's protected. And Jack had made an argument actually yesterday. No, I'm sorry, not yesterday, the day before, that he was like, where does it say that? Where does it say in the Constitution? Where does it say in the Constitution? And it didn't occur to me on Tuesday, but Wednesday, I came back or I was driving to the range and I was like, wait a minute, that's the whole point of the 9th Amendment. Right? The 9th Amendment goes, it specifically says, just because it's not specifically articulated in the Constitution doesn't mean that the people don't have basically infinite rights, right? You have the right to stand up and leave a place. You have the right to go into a place. You have all these rights because that's what comes along with being free, right? Whereas Jack's argument is, well, you don't have the right to do this. You don't have this right because it's not in the Constitution.
To burn the flag?
We don't, but the argument, yes, that specifically in this context, yes. But the argument that, well, it's not written in the Constitution. The Constitution is an outline for how the government should work and a list of things that the government is specifically not allowed to do, right? It has no bearing on what the people are allowed to do. The whole Bill of Rights is government can't do this, government can't do that, government can't do this. There's no part of the Bill of Rights that says the people can't do this. Not one bit. So the idea that you have to have something that is specifically articulated in the Bill of Rights to say that it's protected is wrong, because the Bill of Rights doesn't limit the government. Or I'm sorry, the Bill of Rights doesn't limit the people. It limits the government. So
I was thinking about it, and I kind of got cut off because Serge is like, we have to move on because we were in it so long. I was like, well, why would we, like, you don't even have to go that far. If your issue there is with, like, if it's not about the actual physical destruction of the property, what about flying the flag upside down? Is that acceptable? Like, because plenty of people, like, there was people who were calling that out during COVID, during the riots, because there was people flying flags upside down while buildings were burning and stuff like that.
Some people would say that's a desecration as well.
So it's like, at what point is the cutoff the physical destruction of the flag? Because either way, it's about symbolism. Both of them are about symbolism.
Just for clarity, the wording of the Ninth Amendment says the enumeration in the Constitution of certain rights shall not be construed to deny or disparage other rights others retained by the people. So it's specifically saying, just because it doesn't say so in the Constitution doesn't mean that the people don't have the right to do it. Yeah. Like, and that the whole Ninth Amendment is the refutation of the argument that Jack was making of, well, where does it say it in the Constitution? Show me where it says that in the Constitution. Show me where it says that in the Constitution. It's like, I don't have to, but if I need to prove this to you, the Ninth Amendment is specifically saying that it doesn't have to be written in the Constitution. So that was it. I
guess, like, for a lot of it is like, I understand why. Especially with what's going on in DC, federalizing of the cops and the discussion of wanting to do so in other big cities, because a lot of the people in those cities are saying, we're in distress, we need help, the crime is rampant. And I caution, because I'm just like, look, they're acting in the past. The biggest complaint about Republicans has been like, they're never willing to wield power. They're terrified to wield power when they have it. But it's going to, eventually there will be a Democrat in power again. And the precedent was set a long time ago. It happened when the Democrats started prosecuting political opponents and everything like that. So all I see it is, and I understand, like, to them, and I guess it's harder for me because I'm not a Republican or a conservative, but I see what's going to happen when it eventually does swing back the other way. Now, that's the argument that they're going to make is like, look, it doesn't matter. They're going to do that anyways. And I get that. But when you don't have a team that you're on board with, I guess it's just like, I'm looking at all of it and I'm like, they're pieces of shit for government overreach, and I don't agree with this overreach as well.
Yep. So, but that was the long and short of it.
I love government overreach.
I know.
Not exactly precious about my civil liberties.
Look, I like the whole, like, the voting, like women not voting. Like, Libby gets really upset when that happens, and I'm like, look, if you could actually promise me that the stuff in the Constitution was going to prevent the government from doing all of the things the government wants to do, and that the Bill of Rights was really going to be binding, and they wouldn't violate my rights, I would give up my right to vote in a heartbeat. Like, actually have the Bill of Rights protect the things that are specifically articulated in the Bill of Rights. Right to property, the government can't take my guns, the government can't take my right to associate with whoever I want, the right to free speech, all that stuff is protected. I could give a crap about going to vote. In fact, I'd rather not vote. Like, oh, I got to get up and I got to go to the thing and I got to stand in line in November and it's cold. And like, I don't care that much about voting. The only reason I vote is because I know there are people out there that are voting to take things from me. If there wasn't income tax and there wasn't all of these things that the government does that actually affect me and take my property and take my rights away, I wouldn't want to vote. I'd be like, fine, I don't care about voting. It's not that big of a deal. But the problem is there are people out there that are going to vote and say, yeah, give me these goodies. Government print this money so that way I can have these things. Give me this whatever. They just give me stuff. Give me goodies. Give me. And so it's like, all right, well, I guess I got to go vote for the people that are going to do something to minimize that, even though the people that get into office barely do anything to minimize it.
Do you mean Libby is pro women's suffrage?
Yes, very much. She's like, you're not going to take my right to vote. And I'm like, okay, I would, but if you could guarantee, I would give up my right to vote if you could guarantee that the government wasn't going to interfere with my life. It was actually limited.
If there was some kind of trade-off they could be offered, like women don't have to pay income tax anymore if we take away your suffrage, would women take the offer? Like,
men are like, can you take away my income tax too?
Yeah.
Well, it's only if you give up your right to vote. What I'm saying is, would women take that offer?
No, and taking the right to vote from women isn't enough. It's not enough. because men vote terribly too.
No, it would be enough. Republicans would win every year.
And I don't think it would
by
be.
a landslide.
I think that it
That's
would be.
been
it
actually
would take,
calculated.
It wouldn't be very long before men decided to give women the right to vote again. Like because men get,
but if men were the only people voting in the country, it would be a red country.
This is my point. Men are stupid too, so it's not enough.
Yes, because they gave women the right to
Yes.
vote in the first place. This one is sweet. I like this. American Metal Mama said, "Hey y'all, Mama 4 here. My eldest daughter and I love the show. Could you please shout out to my daughter Zoe? All the love, Amber. Shout out Zoe. Shout out both
Zoe.
of you. Thank you for tuning in." Greg
do one
Duvier
more.
said, "Why no Philcast? Just guest host with Phil." What do you mean?
I
I'm
mean,
not doing the
yesterday
hosting.
because they had Jack and
I don't know. I mean, I'm there.
yeah.
Then it's Mike Benz.
Mike Benz tonight.
Do you prefer to host or do you like it
prefer
when
not to
somebody?
host.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want that responsibility.
I mean, it's like trying to herd cats.
It would be hilarious if they let me do it because it would just be the most inconsequential topics ever. It would be hilarious.
Well, the topics like you would have Kellen being like no. That's what
I'm
we
going
do.
rogue. I'm like, yeah, we'll cover it. And then, and then start the show, be like,
Right.
Taylor Swift is getting married, ladies and gentlemen, and that's the first topic.
Perfect.
Let's hold off on the rest.
Okay.
We'll come back after. Let's move on.
A latest chapter in this cultural vibe shift that we've all been hearing about. So earlier this year, Anna Wintour stepped down as the editor-in-chief of Vogue, which, if you didn't know, is owned by parent company Condé Nast. But she is still within the halls of power at Condé Nast, and one of her recent decisions was to change out the head of Vanity Fair. The previous executive editor of Vanity Fair was named Radhika Jones, and she just replaced that woman with a very controversial pick. He is a white 37-year-old man, presumably heterosexual, and he has a good approach to business because he realizes that the culture is shifting, that the media landscape is shifting, and Vanity Fair and all these other fashion publications for women cannot operate the way that they once did.
So what you're saying is that he's the anti-Cracker Barrel.
Possibly, if he's allowed to actually do his job, which is up in the air right now. A recent report from Semaphore Media said that under Radhika Jones, the previous head of Vanity Fair, the magazine found that critical pieces about Donald Trump were traffic and subscription drivers, and they aligned with many of the editorial sensibilities of staff members. Under Jones, Vanity Fair also attempted to capture increased cultural interest in diversity and marginalized voices, highlighting figures that may have been overlooked in a previous era of the magazine. And under this new guy, Mark Guiducci, he is considering changing things up, and he possibly is going to give Melania Trump the recognition from the fashion world that she's always deserved and never gotten because of the editorial bias. The post-COVID cultural swing to the right, capped by Trump's election in 2024, has impressed upon the new editor at Vanity Fair that they need to change who appears in its pages. Guiducci's mandate to rethink the publication's relationship with power and celebrity is likely to mean a greater open-mindedness to seeking access to figures likely to repel magazine's liberal readers. He's told people he is potentially interested in putting Melania Trump on the cover.
I wonder who he's even talking about in those spheres. Who is outside of Melania Trump? Who are these supposed? Is it Candace Owens? Is he gonna put Candace Owens on the cover of Vanity? Like, who is he talking about?
Well, I don't think it is just about who's on the cover. It's also about the staff. He also laid off a bunch of people. There's mass firings, which pissed everyone off inside the company. And he has been reaching out to a bunch of journalists who could be replacements, including Olivia Nuzzi, the journalist that had the sexting scandal with RFK Jr.
Yep.
So he's open-minded to a variety of different voices and faces on the cover and in the pages. So now employees at Vanity Fair are going rogue. They're threatening to walk out en masse if he decides to put Melania Trump on the cover. This is from one of the mid-level editors that talked to Daily Mail anonymously this week. I will walk out the MFing door and half my staff will follow me. We are not going to normalize this despot and his wife. We're just not going to do it. We're going to stand for what's right. This part is funny. If I have to work bagging groceries at Trader Joe's, I'll do it. If he puts Melania on the cover, half of the editorial staff will walk out.
By the way,
I guarantee it. It
hate
sickens me. Even the idea of it sickens me.
They hate you. They hate normal people. They hate somebody who works a regular job.
Even if I have to be one of those plebs that bags groceries at Trader Joe's.
They believe that they're better than you. And when you ask them to articulate what the evil is that you're stopping, or, you know, what Donald Trump has done, it's buzzwords. It's fascism.
He's a despot.
Racism.
Well, we're leaving you 10 years ago.
That was her word of the day. She played Wordle today, and despot came up. Okay.
She'd probably get fired from Trader Joe's.
Probably, because she would critique somebody's fashion in line. The best part about this is what we learned when we were reading this article, that the last time that Melania Trump was on the cover of Vanity Fair, it was in fact in 2017 on the Mexico cover of Vanity Fair. At the height of the Trump immigration debate, she was on the cover of the Vanity Fair version that comes out in Mexico. If that's not some weird, like, look at that.
I mean, I have to applaud whoever was behind that decision.
That is genius.
It's kind of crazy to...
They literally threw it over the wall.
Yeah. The wall that was never built.
The wall that was never built.
It was rumored that Melania was offered a photo shoot in Vogue and that she turned it down once they let her know, we're not going to put you on the cover, sweetie. You're not important enough, in the first term for Trump. Yeah. That is going against the tradition that every first lady has been on the cover, actually. Michelle Obama was not just once on the cover, but 3 times.
Was
three
George
times
Bush's
on the
wife
cover
on
of
the
Vogue.
cover?
What?
Was George Bush's wife on the cover?
I'm not sure. She wasn't mentioned here.
What was his name? Her name.
They put Jill Biden on the cover of Vogue. They even put Kamala Harris on the cover of Vogue. And Melania wasn't even allowed that. They were like, oh, maybe we'll like interview you and put you somewhere on like page 347. Nobody really cares about you. Even though she comes from that world, she's a model. She comes from the fashion world. Jill Biden got 2, Michelle Obama got 3, Hillary Clinton even was featured on the front page of Vogue in 1998. And now people are thinking, if Melania does get the cover of Vanity Fair, it's possibly the inroad that she would need to eventually go on the cover of Vogue because they're owned by the same parent company of Condé Nast.
But didn't she say she wants nothing to do with this stuff anymore? She doesn't care?
I don't necessarily believe that. If she was willing to take the Mexico cover for Vanity Fair, she said in a Fox News interview in 2022, they're biased, they have likes and dislikes, and it's so obvious. I think the American people and everyone can see it. I have so much more important things to do, and I did in the White House, than being on the cover of Vogue.
Look at this article from Vanity Fair in 2018. Laura Bush, Michelle Obama, and the soft power of outspoken first ladies. Obviously not the cover of the magazine, but it was in the website.
Nobody voted for them either.
No.
Yeah, but I don't really believe what Melania is saying here. I think
As
that
a
if they
supermodel,
had reached out and offered her the coverage that she deserved, she would have taken them up on the offer. And it is important. It is important for a first lady to have that level of visibility to the public eye, especially on the cover of Vogue, which is for the foreseeable future going to be the premier publication for fashion and for women.
Can't wait for the first husband to end up on the cover whenever there's a female president.
Another editor that
Is
spoke
Tulsi
to...
Gabbard married? Is Tulsi Gabbard married? Is
Yes,
her husband going to end up on the cover of Vanity Fair when she eventually ends up in the White House?
I don't know.
Maybe Doug Emhoff.
Yeah.
No.
Another mid-level editor spoke to Daily Mail with a more balanced take on the matter, saying it's all talk. If they put her on the cover, people will protest and gripe about it, but I don't see anyone quitting such a prestigious job over that. Honestly, there will be people who push back, but it's ultimately Mark Guiducci's decision. He's the one who will sink or swim over that choice, not the rest of us.
It's always the middle management. It's always the middle management.
Yeah.
It's the tyranny of middle managers in corporate America that have held up everything for like the last, that HR person, you're the person in charge of making DEI hires when DEI was still fashionable within the industry. That was all the terrorism of middle managers in corporate America.
We have a 20 from Dr. Larsena. Phil, what do you have against Northrop Grumman? On a more serious note, Phil, you're so right. Unofficial oligarchies have a knack for pushing democracies towards tyranny.
Yeah, that's true. So,
what do you have against Northrop Grumman?
I don't have anything against Northrop Grumman.
Oh, okay.
It's just I didn't see. It's not like there was a Raytheon shirt that I overlooked or whatever. This is the one that they.
Now I'm gonna have to go check Etsy to see if there's like custom made Raytheon shirts I can buy.
I have to show one of the many reasons why I love Melania, not just because she's gorgeous, but because her personality is just a 10 out of 10. This is a secretly recorded tape of one of her staffers that was leaked to the media. It was taken in the summer of 2018 when Melania was expressing frustration at being criticized for her husband's policy of separating families who illegally crossed the southern border. And she was getting heat for the Christmas decorations as well at the White House. This was just impeccable from her.
This is like giving me flashbacks to like prior to working for Timcast when I actually paid very, very close attention to the news.
You can absolutely tell, by the way, just how the staffer is talking to her. This is the most annoying person ever, like on the planet.
All these kids that I met, they are here in the shelters because they were brought by it through coyotes, the people, or trafficking, and that's why they put them in jail. And the kids that they go in shelters, and the way they take care of them, it's they even said, the kids, they say, wow, I will have my own bed, I will sleep on the bed, I will have a cabinet for my clothes. It's so sad to hear it, but they didn't have that in their own countries. Right. They sleep on the floor. They are, they are fed. They are taking care nicely there. But they are not with parents. It's sad. But when they come here alone or with coyotes or illegally, you need to do something. Right. And a lot of like moms and kids, they are taught how to do it. They go over and they say like, oh, we will be killed by gang member. We will be it's so dangerous. So they allow to stay here. Do you understand?
I do, and they're the ones that are the bad ones.
Yeah, and they are not. It's not true that they would. You know what I mean? Some of them, they're using that lines that they're not professional, but they are taught by other people what to say to come over and to let them go to stay here, because they could easily stay in Mexico, but they don't want to stay in Mexico because Mexico doesn't take care of them the same as America does.
Thank you.
What you call a mic drop. Okay.
I want to show the rest of that though, because
Okay.
the ending is just incredible.
Care of them the same as America does.
Yep. Well, we did,
And then,
we did finish.
oh, okay. And then she says, who gives an F about the Christmas decorations?
Yep.
When she's working her ass off all the time and people are still, just, they love to hate her.
Yeah, they really do.
Well, that's because they hate Donald Trump. Anything associated with Donald Trump, actually, it's because they hate people on the right. And Donald Trump is on the right, and Melania Trump is associated with Donald Trump.
But it's cooled down, and I think that maybe it is the time for her to get the visibility that she always deserved.
Maybe that would be a sign of things changing.
Mm-hmm.
That would be good. Also, with women being more drawn towards consensus, maybe that would help in a certain way to see, the appeal to authority. Like, well, Vanity Fair said it's okay.
These people threatening to walk out, threatening to quit and work at Trader Joe's, whatever they're saying, I don't even think that they're serious.
No,
they're not going to follow through on those threats.
I mean more like the people who buy the magazine. It may open things up if, if a woman's just like, well, she's on the cover of Vanity Fair. Does that mean it's okay to like her now?
In a weird way, unfortunately, that is how people's brains work.
Yeah, it is.
I was surprised that they put him on the cover of Time. We have another 20 from Jim Kimball. Said, glad I caught Labonte Python's pop culture crisis. How cool. Also, hi, Bort and Murray. Taint needs some PTO. He's earned it.
Tate, I almost called him Tate. Tate has been working very hard for a long time now with Tim out. He's been putting in a lot of work.
Yeah.
The funny thing,
pythons?
Labonte Python.
Labonte.
Pythons? You talking about my arms?
I mean,
talking about Monty Python.
Oh, okay, all right.
But now
pythons, I think of Hulk Hogan.
Because of this show, when people comment on my Instagram, they call me anything. At least the people that aren't people that skate, the people that come there that watch the show, they call me anything but Brett.
Bort.
Brent.
Brett with one T.
As long as you don't call me Brennan, I guess that's fine.
Brent.
And no Brent.
Lots of Brents.
Brent is not even a real name as far as I'm concerned. It's just Brett, but you sneezed.
I get Marie.
It's the worst. All right, let's do some Super Chats.
Brian Bledsoe said, waiting for that dog segment thumbnail with the laser eyes on Mary on one side and a sad, big-eyed puppy on the other. It's not going to have me in it. I don't want to be the villain in your story, okay? Pop Culture Junkie said there is Lockheed Martin merch. Skunkworks is fave. They do have a line of merch. Lockheed Martin does. And the funny thing is, I realize it's because people in South Korea, they really like wearing merch of different American companies.
Yeah, well, I mean, in other countries, I'm always surprised that every country, they wear like New York Yankees hats.
They wear Yankees merch. They also wear Ivy League schools logos as well. In Korea, they wear like Coca-Cola.
Or if you're in Africa, you're wearing the shirt of whatever team lost the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Yeah. FN said selling properties doesn't make you broke. Well, I don't think we were saying that we agree with the report that he's broke. They're just saying that he's in a state where he's losing money instead of making more money. And if you have $400 billion to start with, yeah, you're far from destitute. Weary Traveler said, I actually feel bad for her. Bad for Lana?
No, it was about the girl from
the
TikToker. First video. As of right now, the poll is sitting at 63% say that her crash out was not valid.
I agree with the majority here. I don't think she was valid to crash out or post it.
That was the part that
either way
makes it sus, as the kids
if you have a reaction like that to a relationship that doesn't even exist yet, you probably have a personality disorder. Like, you probably have borderline.
Live, laugh, Lockheed Martin.
It was giving borderline vibes. Easy E said, girly, how can a man take you to dinner if you're bringing dinner with you? B+ for enthusiasm, but come on, girl, you gotta let the dude do something. That's another thing. She's like trying to handhold him through a first date like he's not a grown-ass man who can figure it out himself. Like, you only have to make a phone call for a reservation.
Guess after that, he's like, I guess I'll take you out for froyo, since we...
Right.
Oh, no, she brought the muffins, so...
She did bring the muffins with honey butter. Sounds delicious. I'm really hungry.
All right, let's hold off on the rest, and we will come back after the fact. Guys, hit the like button, please. Again, I'm keeping my eye on the likes. Hit the like button right now.
I just learned that the summer is peak divorce season, but there's also a season of life that some argue is peak for when women choose to initiate divorce from their husbands, which is perimenopause and menopause itself. And they've come up with a term for it, menodivorce. It's a really clumsy construction for that term. They need to workshop that a little longer.
Yeah, a little bit.
And, to be fair, they only listed one example of a woman who credits menopause for what convinced her to initiate a divorce. She just did an interview with USA Today about it, and she, I believe, came up with the term menodivorce. Why women aren't sweating marriage in a sea of hot flashes. Do I want a divorce, or is this menopause? It's a question resonating with women in midlife, when hormones are changing, kids moving out, parents moving in, and careers are often at their peak. While divorce rates overall are dropping, that is true, it's a 50-year low.
That is a
divorce among adults
red flag, or a green
aged
flag.
50 and older is still on the rise.
It's gonna sound mean. It's the boomers.
It is.
They're
the boomers.
so selfish.
It is the boomers. It's a boomer problem. For some women, getting help for their menopause symptoms improves their relationships. Others say it gives them the clarity to leave. You know, you just haven't self-actualized yet after 50 years on the planet. You need to find yourself.
It wasn't
You have
a
to go
midlife
discover
crisis.
who you are.
It wasn't a midlife crisis. It was an awakening.
Getting help for symptoms involving your partner in understanding menopause and talking with friends can help women thrive during menopause, but I don't think they mentioned divorce can help.
Yeah.
Yeah. This woman is named Melissa McClure, and she told her husband, "It's not a midlife crisis. I'm wide awake to the possibility of what my life can be, and it doesn't include you."
That's exactly how I read it to Mary when I was telling her this story earlier.
That's such an underhanded way to say that.
Yep.
She says she wasn't sleeping well. She had hot flashes. Her husband's loud chewing sent her into a rage. His negative attitude bothered her. Oh, he's the one with the negative attitude. Oh, okay.
And his loud chewing means that you have to break the bond that you swore would be until the day you die.
And she said she no longer felt appreciated as a wife and stepmother. So I guess he was going into the marriage with a previous marriage under his belt and kids from that marriage.
He's gotta wake up every day and write out a huge banner that says thank you.
They had been together for 14 years, but perimenopause made her realize she wanted a divorce. We spend our adult lives taking care of our husbands or partners and children. We give so much of ourselves to other people as nurturers that we lose ourselves in the process.
She probably uses the term emotional labor.
Of course.
And it's self-inflicted.
Yeah.
And the reason why a lot of women in midlife struggle with these feelings, or specifically empty nest syndrome, is because they inflicted this suffering on themselves. They weren't pouring into their own cup. They were too focused on pouring into everyone else's cup, filling everyone else's cup. And then your kids have their own lives. And they never really even needed you to be hovering over them in the first place, but you have this empty space. Yeah. And you don't know what to do with yourself. You haven't been developing yourself. You haven't had your own interests. You haven't been working on your marriage because you think it's valorant to focus on your kids, even to their detriment. And they can say, you know, maybe we'll just stay together for the kids and then divorce once they leave, once they go to college, once they themselves move out, get married, move on with their lives. It's still proven to be incredibly damaging if parents divorce for when the children are adults. It's worse when they're younger, obviously, but it doesn't mean that they're just going to be fine with their parents getting split up later in life.
It's so weird too, because I think back to like Blink-182 and Stay Together for the Kids and all the movies and TV shows that were made in the late 90s and the early 2000s. It really did make the huge discussion about like, you know, the banality of middle class life in the suburbs, which nowadays every Gen Z kid's like, can I have that please? Can I have a 401k and a 40-hour-a-week job that I can stay at for 22 years exactly and then retire with a wife and kids? And it was treated as if it was like this big sense of baggage. Like, oh my gosh, I've got a husband and kids. I've got a wife and kids. My life has no meaning. And it really was, I think, in a lot of ways, that first cultural push towards finding something more. You got married young. You have to find yourself once the kids are getting older and stuff like that. And it didn't tell you that what you had was enough. It didn't tell you that what you'd created with this middle class life with the family was beautiful. All it talked about was the emptiness of self, right? And that really was still like, even though the artists who were making that stuff at that time would have been I guess, Gen X, right? They would have been Gen X. They wouldn't have been boomers, but they would have been Gen X artists going into in the millennial viewers, I guess. Like, we're still feeling the effects of that today.
Yeah. And it's not just...
These ideas don't make it into her head without culture and movies and television, and that which led way to influencers and people who took stuff from that. We're going to feel this effects for the next 100 years.
Correct. I saw Matt Walsh recently talking about TikTok from a woman who I believe was in her 30s, talking about how she wanted to get a divorce, not because there was any problem with her husband. She says he's the best. He is the best possible spouse I could ask for. He treats me so well. He's such a good father, etc. There's nothing wrong with him. I just feel like something is missing in myself.
What does that even mean?
It's not you, it's me. And it's not just media consumption that has done this to people. I think these days young women have a particular vice for comparison, for narcissism. That usually is paired with social media.
The grass is always
exacerbated
greener.
by social media. But
men and women both have that problem with, as like they think that maybe just one more, like keep dating one more.
Sure.
I could do just a little bit better. The grass is always a little bit greener.
I have found that I meet plenty of older women who suffer from a different vice, another self-inflicted vice, which is, it's hard to explain exactly because I don't have experience with this aside from observing it, but they basically pour all of their attention, all of their focus and energy into helping their kids or grandkids, when in reality they're just being a net drain on everyone around them. And it's because they believe that's a version of like self-giving, when in reality they're doing it to overcompensate for they're doing it because they think like suffering for no reason is noble, basically. And they're actually not helping anybody by doing that. They're becoming a more nightmarish person to be around by doing that, and hence the phenomenon of empty nest syndrome. If you haven't been developing yourself, cultivating your own hobbies or interests, or working on your marriage for like 20 years, and then your kids move out of the house, you don't know what to do, and you end up having a sort of version of a midlife crisis that doesn't involve, you know, buying a sports car. And it might lead to divorce because, you know, if you haven't been tending to that area of your life in an attempt to feel like you're doing the selfless thing, then it's gonna come back to bite you. Like, they think it's selfless to focus on the kids and focus on the grandkids and focus on everyone else but their spouse for decades.
Is this where that debate comes from, where they talk about like, who do you put first, your parents, your husband, or your spouse, or your kids? And then people ask you like,
it's a huge debate.
Which comes first?
And it should always be God first, and then spouse, and then kids, and then everyone else comes after that. It goes in, then, you know, the rest of your family, your extended family, then friends, then your larger community, then your city, state, country, then the world. Those are the concentric circles of love that J.D. Vance, of all people, was trying to explain. And it is something that needs to be understood better, because I have noticed that like a lot of women get a sense of self-satisfaction out of focusing on everyone but themselves and their marriages, which is supposed to be the nucleus of the family.
So the doctor also says, I hear it from patients every week. They might still love their husbands or partners, but they also hate them and no longer can put up with the things they've been putting up with.
You know why they resent their husbands? Because usually husbands, fathers, don't have the same struggle with this vice. They actually make more of an effort to have a life outside of just their family and just their marriage. They have their own hobbies. They usually have more developed careers than their wives. They have their own stuff going on. They have an identity. And a lot of these women don't have an identity outside of their kids, weirdly. I don't know about this woman in particular, if she has her own kids. She says she's a stepmother. But Yeah, it's like a weird messiah complex. Like they get a sense of satisfaction with themselves out of feeling like they're giving up so much for everyone. When in reality, nobody asked you to do that, and nobody even wants or needs you to do that.
Well, in the converse to that is like, it's that, and then it's I'm choosing me. I'm finally going to put myself first, when really you could have just balanced your time better amongst all of it and then not had to drastically change and go the opposite direction.
But then they'll be like, oh, but my husband doesn't let me do this or let me do that. Have you ever like asked this guy that you have lived with for decades to watch the kids sometime? Like, have you never thought to ask for a favor? Like, I don't know. They resent even the idea that you have to negotiate that type of time, you know? But like, if you have a good spouse, if you have a good husband, obviously he's going to care about you and care that you get time to do your own thing. If you have a group of friends that you want to spend time with, if you have a volunteer opportunity that you want to spend time with, whatever, it doesn't even matter what it is. But yeah, they would rather resent their husbands for having more self-determination than assert their own self-determination. Like, it's really hard to explain it because I'm not talking from firsthand experience, but I have met so many women in or around midlife age who are just so frenetic, exhausted, neurotic, and truly a husk of their former selves. And it's because they've chosen to live that way.
You know what's going to save them? Pickleball. Husband and wife together, pickleball.
Doesn't even matter what it is. Like, pick anything other than whatever the hell this is. You wouldn't need to escape your marriage to be yourself if you just chose to not suffer for no reason while married. It's such a self-inflicted problem. Like, I meet these women in that age range who are walking around in a fugue state. Like, they have, like, memory loss or something. And you don't have to live like this. I don't know if anyone in the chat is, like, picking up what I'm throwing down right now. But if you have met the women I'm talking about, you know exactly what I mean. I didn't even know this rant was, like, in me. Yeah. But, like, I feel strongly about this. And I don't want to end up like one of these women. So, you know, a lot of women have this feeling like they don't want to assert themselves or something. They don't want to talk to their husbands about things because they're so conflict averse. But they're assuming that it's a conflict in the first place, and it doesn't have to be a conflict at all. It's just a conversation. That's actually, I think that was something that I discussed with Tammy Peterson when I was hanging out with her. She was talking about how, you know, earlier on in her marriage, she didn't feel like bringing things up and she didn't want to cause a stir or whatever. But she realized that was stupid, and you just sometimes need to ask for what you need. It's not that complicated.
All right. Let's go to Super Chats.
Weary Traveler said, if a guy is scared off by that, he's gay. I don't think he's gay.
No.
I think it's actually, like, maybe embarrassing to admit, but probably just real that that's emasculating.
I don't think it's that. I think it's too much all at once. I don't think it's about feeling emasculated. I think it's like, whoa, this is like, you're doing too much. You're doing it too quickly. I'm going to just veer left and go where it's calm.
It's overwhelming, but it's also emasculating for a woman to, like, impose her idea on the first date for, like, what it has to be.
Like, it was the again, and there's so little information from that video. Did they agree to, like, go out to dinner? And she's like, I'm gonna surprise him and have dinner ready, and then he's gonna be like, but she
didn't even give him the chance to decide. Pop Culture Junkie said, regarding the ghosted girl, is there a vast psychographic difference between X and TikTok users? I have never heard the word psychographic before.
Me neither.
I do think there's probably a difference between X and TikTok users, to be honest with you.
Well, what is it?
I think that TikTok users are more visually stimulated, and they're looking for that kind of content, whereas people that are on X generally will read more and are more interested in things that are a little more cerebral than visuals that are offered up to you on an app.
I mean, also for me, like, I would rather, theoretically, like, if you had a platform like TikTok and the whole point was just to read something you typed rather than make it into skits, like, there would actually be, like, theoretically less confusion, because a big problem with X is, like, people read somebody's paragraph and they read into it what they want, because that's what social media does. You kind of deconstruct down whatever you're reading, and sometimes your own emotions, your own mental state can kind of bleed into what you're reading. How many times are people talking past each other on social media?
Yep.
Whereas that's theoretically harder to do if you're watching someone's video. Like, the context should be readily apparent based on how they're presenting the information. But I would still rather read it most of the time than like I go for video content for skits and humor, not necessarily for deep philosophical insight or something educational.
I get some educational content in my reels.
Yeah,
mostly from like people in marketing and creative direction.
That happens to me on YouTube, but it's more instructional, like woodwork, carpentry, things like that. I like to watch them do the math to cut the interesting corners.
Corey Anderson said, Phil, sup, are you holding auditions for lead guitar? I can't actually play, but I can air guitar like an MF-er. Squealy, squealy, squealy.
We have seen some submissions. Early stages. We're not in any huge rush to select someone. And if you can air guitar, unfortunately, that's not enough.
To start?
I mean... Is it really?
You got the spirit.
Is it though? We're gonna be really selective. I mean, Jason was probably one of the Jason, in my opinion, is the best guitar player on earth. So, like, whoever comes and plays for us is gonna have to be able to play the stuff that Jason did, and it can't sound like it's a downgrade. You know, we can't have someone come in that doesn't hit home runs. So, yeah, I think air guitar is probably not going to be quite enough. But I appreciate the enthusiasm.
Has there ever been a band that would like invite a fan on to air guitar, like do an air guitar solo in the middle of a live show?
I assume that's probably happened.
It's probably a thing, right?
I have a question. In the music videos, was Jason actually supposed to play the chords, or was he just supposed to like look like he was playing guitar?
So they're playing, but we're playing to a track. So we listen to the song, and like I'm not singing the whole song either. Like I'm lip syncing it most of the time, or I'm singing quietly. So that way it's like, because you're doing a bunch of takes. So we'll play the song.
Music video creation is
we play
bitch of a
when we do, whatever song it is. Like we've done, usually you're doing 30 takes of a song overall to get all the shots you need. So if I was singing the song 30 times in a row at full volume, like my voice would be destroyed. So it's lip syncing, but the guitar players and the drummers and stuff, they're actually playing, but it's not mic'd up. They don't have their amps and stuff. They're playing along with a track.
And lip syncing isn't as easy as it sounds like it would
not.
be. Look at any TikTok where somebody's lip syncing lyrics and how awful it looks.
They're not good at it.
There's a lot of like slowing video to 99% to make stuff it's not as easy as it looks.
Shane H. Wilder said Mary might like Orson Welles movies. He was contrarian and wanted everything in focus in his films. Still made some of the best films in history. Well, if you have any recommendations, let me know.
Orson Welles, War of the Worlds. No, that might not be I don't know if he actually made that film.
I don't know.
Anyways.
Matt Kelly said it's one thing to troll, but when they're actively taking pictures of kids and he's bugging them, he should probably be on a list. Yeah, I mean, if I were one of the parents, then I'd freak.
For what?
With the cringe of the day.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if I were one of the parents, I would assume he's like a weirdo. Shane H. Wilder said, to chalant or nonchalant, that is the question.
Always
Whether
chalant.
'tis nobler in the riz to suffer the slings and arrows of skibbity fortune. And then he said W Magazine keeping Photoshop on Liquify. Yeah. Corey Anderson said, you think when Jeremy married Lana, he was in a sleeveless tuxedo or camouflage tuxedo?
I hope it was a sleeveless camo tux.
Both
at once.
With like boots that, the rubber boots that come up to his knees.
Perfect. Pop Culture Junkie
Those
said,
are called waders.
TMZ own... Oh, you already read that one
boots.
earlier.
No.
Adam said, does this happen to you guys, going to a restaurant and during downtimes and you're the only customer and then suddenly afterwards tons of people? Well, that's the ideal, isn't it? because you got seated first. But not that I've noticed. Shane H. Wilder said, Lana, All That Remains, and Alice Cooper are always a pre-order.
Oh, I appreciate it, Shane.
No Control said, if I want to burn leaves on my own property, I have to have a permit. I don't see how it's legal to burn a flag in the middle of a crowded protest.
That's about burning.
Things.
Like the question at hand isn't about whether or not you should be able to burn in a public place. The question at hand is about, can you burn a flag? Right? It's about the desecration of the flag and being able to use that as an expression of displeasure with the government. Of course, if you're in a place where it is unsafe to start a fire, then that's going to be prohibited. But that has nothing to do with the question about the expression of displeasure with the government that is displayed when you burn a flag. So it's two different questions you're talking about.
And it's another discussion. Like there have been TV shows and movies in like the procedural realm that have talked about flag burning, and all it does is show you how far the political discourse has been pushed now. Where back it used to be about, will they be willing to burn a flag to make a point? It's no longer about that anymore. They're very willing to do so. It's a matter of, and now we're seeing executive orders to stop it. I still don't agree with that. But it is sad that the discourse has been pushed that far.
I mean, like, on principle, I'm against the idea of burning a flag, but I don't think that it should be illegal.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm sympathetic to all of Jack's arguments about the left using it as a way to symbolize the destruction of the country. I'm sympathetic to all of that stuff, and I agree with him. I just don't think that it should be illegal.
Well, that's why when I brought up the upside down flag earlier, it's a sign that the nation is in distress. Well, that's as symbolic as anything, because it's an opinion about whether it's desecrating a flag because of what you think of the country as a whole, or turning your flag upside down to indicate that you believe the nation is in a state of distress. That's your narrative take on what you think of it, and that's a matter of discourse.
I thought the executive order was making a point about what's going on in England.
No.
With the flag displays in England and the protests that are going on in the UK.
They're actually unrelated.
It was related to what, LA?
It's related to people that I'm not sure exactly what the issue was that set Trump off, but he's always been against burning the flags. Like anyone that burns flags, like he was making remarks about this, I think, in the first.
And the weird thing is like I like it. Like would I be happy if Biden was like, I don't like it when they burn the flag, but it's their right. I'd agree with him, but I wouldn't believe that he actually dislikes it.
I just feel like if Biden signed an executive order, the exact same executive order, then the right would be like, nah, this sucks.
No, they would still, I think they'd say rare Biden W.
Yeah.
Like if he made it about pride flags, then it would be,
hate crime.
Hate crime.
Well, people talk about that being a hate crime now, and I mean, I'm against hate crime. The concept of a hate crime.
Right. There was a lot of that discussion yesterday too. They were saying that people on the right are suddenly using the term hate crime when they were like, every crime involves hate.
Yeah, I'm against the concept of a hate crime. That what you're saying is this is a thought crime now.
Yeah.
Pop Culture Junkie said TMZ has a full-timer who has developed a cadre of various security people nationwide that she bribes for camera footage? How do you know this?
Can we see the documentary on this woman?
How do you know this? What are your sources? She sounds fascinating. Adam said, we wanted the Trump that they're scared of. I ain't complaining. No burning the U.S. flags. Trump still leaves a lot to be desired, if you ask me.
This is what we should have made the poll about today.
Flag burning. Riveting. Carnell said, for the panel, would you rather win a Grammy and Oscar or be on the cover of Vanity Fair? Inquiring minds want to know. Well, wouldn't we have to Phil could maybe get it. He could do a Grammy, but what would we do for any of those things?
Nothing.
I would like Vanity Fair.
You could be on the cover of Vanity Fair. The future of podcasting.
Amazing.
Yeah, that was my brainstormed headline.
Unlikely, but I would want the magazine cover because it doesn't require any work. Weary Traveler said, I can confirm nobody is actually going to quit their fake laptop jobs for Trader Joe's. Yeah, I don't think they want to live that life. No. I don't think you can afford rent in New York City on the Trader Joe's salary. That's just, I know they have great benefits and everything. I've heard a lot about them, but
I've heard the same about Costco. that apparently like a Costco job is like winning the lottery.
Yeah.
Starbucks
Get
also
a $1.50 hot dog.
I've heard Starbucks gives you a lot of benefits. Buc-ee's as well. Buc-ee's treats their employees like royalty.
Sheets
Junie.
could never.
No. Junie said, always loved Melania. She is from the same area of Slovenia that my Oma was from. Stoic yet sharp and humorous people. We were just talking before the show about how Melania just looks intimidating. She just, like, I mean, I would be scared of her if we were in the same room because she's so tall and she has these predator eyes.
We looked at this photo and I was like, she looks like if Baron died in war, she'd be disappointed.
She looks like she could inflict pain on you with just her eyes.
Yep.
Like she looks like she could actually shoot laser beams out of her eyes. Yep. No Control said Bert and Murray. That's us. Surinko Production.
Get, like, you know what? Everybody's getting Cass Brew coffee. Can we get a candy called Bert and Murray? Like
sounds like a candy
Mike
bar.
and Ike's.
Yeah, sounds like something of that variety.
Pitch that.
Surinko Production said getting eaten by an alligator is so Lana coded. It is for some reason. I can't explain it, but maybe if she just had like one limb eaten by an alligator, and then she could like go on tour with an earpiece microphone instead because she can't hold the microphone anymore.
That's perfect.
That would be great. Or if she had a peg leg, her peg leg era. Yeah, I would be here for it.
Still does dance numbers.
Not wishing anything terrible on Lana Del Rey, by the way. No Control said, if a woman brought me biscuits and gravy on a first date, I would skip the dinner and take her straight to the courthouse to get married. Look, I know you say that, but is that really true?
That's but that's what they call love bombing. Just love bombing.
I don't think it's love bombing.
I hate that term.
People use that term to talk about narcissists. Yeah. Okay.
Every girl knows somehow 5 narcissists that they've dated.
Right. Exactly.
There's
like
way
all out
too
much of that.
Them. And to be fair, men say it too. My ex-girlfriend was a narcissist.
Well, they'll usually say like, "Oh, my ex-girlfriend is crazy." They'll just say crazy. But women love the term narcissist. And love bombing is a very specific term that actually does refer to something that a narcissist does.
I just feel
but they're just going to like blanket statement. All signs of affection and sincerity are love bombs.
And like I don't know how many friends you have where you just happen to be friends with both the guy and the girl in the relationship, and the relationship falls apart. And look, it very rarely in society do I believe that they're uber villains out with like tactical plans to ruin the life of another person. Oftentimes it's a little bit of selfishness, a lot of bit of problems that brew between two people, and it's very rarely so like evil villain.
Yeah.
Evil villain coded, as you would say. Like, whereas most of it, the way it's always reframed is that this person was, they were out to get them and they were working to systemically destroy their lives because, I don't know, because in the middle of their life, when they work a day job, they're out to ruin the lives of other people. It's usually not that simple.
No. Drewish AF of Christendom said, love y'all Brent Morey and Captain Philheim.
That's us.
Haven't heard that one before.
Okay.
Shane H. Wilder said, all I can say is my mom refused to leave my dad's bedside for months when he was dying. One of the most beautiful acts of love I've ever seen.
Well, that must have been because she wasn't going through menopause yet. Because if she was going through menopause, she would have just left.
Love bombing.
Love bombing.
Everything is love bombing. Pop Culture Junkie said, psychographic, the study and classification of people according to attitudes, aspirations, and other psychological criteria, especially in market research.
Okay.
I was watching.
You would be the person who knew that.
I was watching these videos on the follow-up stuff about Cracker Barrel and seeing the 5 pillars of the Cracker Barrel rebrand.
Pillars.
The 5. They've always got pillars.
Okay.
The things that are holding it up.
Yeah,
and those are.
I don't even remember what they were. I hate marketing speak. And it's like, and you can just picture it. It's in like a binder, in a clear plastic binder, and they have all these graphs and charts.
They love flow charts, Venn diagrams.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Corey Anderson said, well, if you need a guy to dance around on stage like the Mighty Mighty Boss Stones have, I'm your dude.
Awesome. Thank you.
I mean, that means you want to be on stage when there's a trombone playing, or what is it that ska is known for?
They have trombones,
trumpet.
trumpets. Yeah. They have sometimes they'll have a sax. It's just a brass section usually.
That one scene in Clueless where they go to a nightclub and there's just a ska band on stage and everyone is just like having the time of their life, almost, not quite, makes me think ska should have a comeback.
I mean, aren't they doing a Clueless revival? Isn't that a thing?
I don't know where that stands currently, but yes,
if
they're going to ruin everything.
No ska, we abort.
No ska, I
couldn't think of the word. Raw.
I don't know.
No ska, no rah. So you better put some frickin' I better hear a remix of Rollin' with the Homies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Shane H. Wilder said Orson Welles did the radio drama of War of the Worlds, good movies, Citizen Kane, The Lady from Shanghai, my favorite, The Magnificent Amersons. I don't know if I said that last one right. Wasn't Colonel Kurtz's screen name from Citizen Kane?
No, it's from Apocalypse Now.
Oh, Apocalypse Now. Yeah, had it mixed up. Pop Culture Junkie said on June 9th, anti-ICE demonstrators burned flags in LA. Okay, so my suspicion was that it was either that or the display of the English flag in the UK currently, which is seen as sort of it's like seen as their version of the Confederate flag maybe in the UK, because you're supposed to fly the Union Jack, if anything, or nothing. The English flag is considered offensive there at this point.
Yeah, I mean, well, it was, but there's a significant pushback on that nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of people that are flying the flag of England and the Union Jack, the Union flag, and it's become a big kind of big deal over there. And I think it's a good thing. You know, they're starting to assert the fact that, hey, like, we are not ashamed of our heritage and our country, and it's a good thing.
Yep.
Pop Culture Junkie said, my source is a retired TMZ Avid video editor.
Oh, props to them for learning Avid. Fuck.
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah.
What is that?
So it's a video editing program.
Is it outdated?
I'm sure they still use it. It's like I never had fashion to use it when I was doing stuff. I always used Final Cut before I moved to Adobe.
Pop Culture Junkie said, back to my question. So, do you think there is a vast difference between the X and TikTok users' psychographics? I have received totally different responses to videos that I post on Instagram or X compared to TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
I think the TikTok users are generally younger. There are more women on TikTok than on X, at least in the active user base.
Mm-hmm.
They're generally more left-leaning, they're less likely to follow you based on a video that they like. I think I get more followers on Instagram from people watching my videos.
Which one is more left-leaning? You said TikTok is?
TikTok is more, there's more censorship on TikTok than Instagram, actually. Instagram has let up on a lot of their censorship. And people on Instagram or on Twitter are more likely to follow you based on something you posted. On TikTok, I don't know how it works. I've gotten I think I'm at 4.8K on TikTok currently.
You get
after a couple of months now.
You get a notification on Instagram. If somebody follows you from a reel you posted, it will tell you from a reel.
Yeah. It doesn't give you that information on TikTok, but it feels like I could get so many views on a video and nobody converts over to looking at my page. Like, I got something like 700,000 views on a video recently on TikTok, and I got maybe 100 followers from it or something. It's just way easier to blow up on TikTok than on the other platforms, but there's more investment on other platforms. I think consistency matters more on those other platforms than virality.
Okay.
Corey
We're
Anderson.
getting close to a second crisis party, guys. Come on.
Corey Anderson
I'm only gonna be here one day next week. You better get some crisis parties.
Mary, that was the Boss Stones in Clueless.
Oh.
I didn't
even know that.
They did have a guy dancing on stage, now that I remember. the reference. Yeah.
I'm gonna have to watch Clueless this weekend, maybe.
Were there
It's
like
been so long.
teenagers going to nightclubs in the 90s? Was that like normal?
It's another meta from the TV and in music of the time period. Like in Buffy the Vampire Slayer, they had I always forget the name.
Well,
of
it was supposed to be that was an all ages club, but like.
Well, when I was growing up, there were all ages clubs. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, those don't like exist anymore with like few exceptions. High Voltage 75 said, I saw a headline today that said Sabrina Carpenter warned that her new album is not for pearl clutchers. Do you feel excluded, Mary? Yes.
Also,
I am always going to be clutching my pearls.
Can we just talk about how they're not even album covers? They're just pictures.
For Sabrina Carpenter?
Yeah. They're like new whatever Maneater album cover, and it's just a picture of her.
Yeah, that's kind
of
lame.
It doesn't even say Maneater on the picture.
Like, credit to Taylor Swift where it's due. At the very least, there is some work that they did to that photo. It's not just a photo of Taylor Swift that you could find anywhere. They stylized it. But the Sabrina Carpenter photos are literally just photos of her.
Hold on, let me see if I can...
And I don't like the culture of having, like, 10 different variant album covers before it's even out.
This is not an album cover. It's just a picture.
Yeah.
Not an album cover.
It's just low effort rage bait. It's just low effort rage bait. There's nothing to it. You could put that on Instagram and nobody would care. And yeah, it's non-committal to just have like 15 different variant album covers, which is what Taylor Swift is currently doing, but at least it looks like there was effort put into each one. Shane H. Wilder said, tried Avid and it's the worst professional editor.
So I had to take a class when I was in like video production school on Avid. And all I remember was learning the term dongle and giggling. That's all I remember.
Dongle?
It's just a USB drive that you plug in to make it work.
That's funny.
And I just remember going, dongle.
Pop Culture Junkie said most movies these days are still edited on Avids.
Yes, that like most of the big production movies, they're still editing, and they're in these big, like they're editing in a theater. Yeah. Like they're behind glass and they're looking at a gigantic monitor, which makes me wonder why they can't get it right half the time. I'm like, why does your color look like ass when you're looking at this huge screen?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
Are you a fan of the Man of Steel kind of palette, or do you think that it's too washed out too?
I don't like the washed out.
You don't like it?
So I have my niche preference would be as if every movie and television show was color graded like a 2010s Canadian network television show, meaning that they would be yellow and green. I don't like the yellow and blue. I understand that they're complementary colors, but one of the worst things that happened, did we review the last Matrix movie?
No.
Okay. So they took the Matrix, which had this great dark green color palette. It was dark, it was gritty, it was not washed out, but it was very, very dense. And they made it the traditional Hollywood kind of blown out yellow and blue color palette, and I wanted to vomit. I did. I was like, why am I looking at perfect sunlight yellow and blue skies in a freaking Matrix movie? It should be yellow, it should be green, it should be gross.
What do you think of bisexual lighting?
For me, like that fits more in like the music video realm. Like it works in a studio like this. But in movies, you'd be like, why is there...
This isn't bisexual lighting.
I mean, because it's not covering our face.
This doesn't count.
But it is considered bisexual lighting.
No, it's only considered that if it's specifically blue and pink, I thought.
No, I mean, the term's just two different colors, I think.
From everything I've read, it does not include green, certainly. Moon at Noon said for the Gongolian national dance team.
But the thing is, Phil,
appreciate it.
For Man of Steel, if we're talking about pure storytelling, it makes sense. Hold, please.
Thank you.
Talking to you that I'm standing on business.
when we're talking about the tone of Man of Steel as a movie, it makes 110% sense for the movie to look like that.
Okay.
But even Batman vs Superman didn't have that washed out gray look. It was darker in the action scenes, like when you talk about like the warehouse fight and stuff like that. But if you looked at the scene of them, like when they're at the like the fundraiser that Bruce Wayne goes to, I mean, it just looks like a normal movie set.
Yeah.
But Man of Steel, it seemed to lean, maybe because it was like a lot of it was stuff that's taking place outside and still daytime. So it looks like washed out and overcast. Whereas Batman vs Superman pretty much all exclusively takes place at night.
Yeah.
So I will always say, like, look, I loved Superman, but the trailer campaign for the Zack Snyder films was one of the best trailer campaigns I've ever seen outside of showing too much. But between the teaser trailer where Superman asks Batman if he bleeds, or where Batman asks Superman if he bleeds, and you get the first time you hear Batman use an electronic voice modulator as opposed to just, sounding like he smokes a pack a day. And then the last trailer, where the last trailer, which starts off with like an abbreviated version of the warehouse fight and then ends with Batman stopping Superman's punch. That was great stuff. They just showed too much. And then they, for some reason, revealed too much in the trailer before that. And it was very frenetic. But all those trailers at that time were fantastic. They could have cut them down by about 30 seconds. Yeah.
Adam said, do the Napoleon Dynamite dance.
That's a lot of dancing.
Yeah, I don't remember.
It's a big, long dance.
Yeah.
I do maintain that Adrian Chase in Peacemaker is just Napoleon Dynamite in a superhero movie.
Greg Duvier said Buffy's club was called the Bronze.
Yes, thank you.
Correct. Corey Anderson said, Phil, have you written a song for your child yet?
Oh, no, not yet.
Do you think you will?
Not here yet.
Okay, here, Vamp Fashion says, how did we get through most of a show without talking about comic books endlessly? We never talk about comic books on this channel.
Endlessly?
Like, we almost never get into that stuff. No. Ever. Like, when Mary was out of town, we talked about movies more. But we don't, like, I'm not a comic book reader. Like, not in years, and would never consider myself educated enough on them to actually talk about them. We talk about superhero stuff from time to time. Usually, like, if a movie's coming out, you'll cover it more because Pedro Pascal was being covered a ton in the lead up to Fantastic Four.
Shane H. Wilder said, I thought most used Premiere. Some still use Vegas.
Who? Not the big studios don't use Vegas. But, Premiere might be used for promotional material, but I would guess not.
Corey Anderson said, Mary, sheer sleeves or lace sleeves? I don't understand
the question.
Lace sleeves are sheer. Brian Bledsoe said, what's Phil's answer to yesterday's poll question, excluding Swift Concert and Crumble? What were the other ones? James Gunn's Basement and...
I don't remember the other
my
one.
Gosh, what was
So it was, where would you rather be stuck overnight? It was Crumble Cookie, James Gunn's Basement,
Taylor Swift concert.
Oh,
the dark romance.
A dark
book
romance
talk
book top convention. Well, Phil would choose Crumble.
But no, it says excluding Taylor Swift and Crumble. So would you rather be stuck in James Gunn's basement for a night or stuck at the dark romance book talk fantasy ball?
Well, I don't have to talk to anyone at the dark romance fantasy thing. Like,
you just kind of stick in the corner.
Yeah, and it doesn't sound as creepy as being in some dude's basement.
Especially James Gunn's basement.
Yeah.
Like, who knows what's in there?
Yeah, but you're not a child, so you might be safer in James Gunn's.
Oh, my gosh.
A public place or a private home.
It's a joke.
No, but the women are going to sexually assault you.
They're not going to. I will physically assault them back.
Good. Defend yourself. Grofty said dongles for the gongos. Corey Anderson said, when will we see the Falling in Reverse and All That Remains collab?
Oh, I don't know. Ronnie's busy.
Yeah. So. If you cover a Taylor Swift song, which would you choose?
Style.
Good choice.
Style,
Moon at Noon sent a rose emoji. Thank you.
I want you to cover I Knew You Were Trouble.
That'd be good too.
And turn the dubstep part into a guitar solo.
The dubstep part.
It is dubstep.
It's reminiscent of the time.
Yeah.
Pop Culture Junkie said a lot of ad-supported cable shows use Premiere.
So one of my favorite things, this is kind of like, if you go look at, first of all, I notice when TV shows get uploaded to streaming services and the episodes are out of order, I like sent a message to Hulu. I was like, your NCIS episodes are out of order. Like, because
they respond?
They did not.
Okay.
But so Amazon Prime is notorious for this. Their shit's just out of order. Like, they just upload stuff. And then when you go look at streaming services that like the ones that are free, I love how low effort the logos they use are, because I'm assuming that they're not using like studio specific ones. So Continuum, which had a lot of really great artwork for it, which was this cable show that came out in the sci-fi show. And it's a lot of great artwork featuring the main actress, Rachel Nichols. And then you go look at like the Tubi version of it, and it's just the most bland text you've ever seen on like a still from the very first episode. Somebody's like, drop. Like, I can do that job. Hire me.
Do it. That's the fake laptop job you've been dreaming
about. That's the job
about.
I'm looking for.
Or do we have any Rumble
Yes,
rants?
we had one here from Kenna Olivia. Says, Cavaliers are the best breed of all. Thanks for featuring Kenny today.
I'm glad we're on the same page.
Yeah.
They're beautiful.
All right. Guys, before we go, would you hit the like button on this video, please? Like I said, hit the like button. Do it. Do it now. We need to get those numbers up.
3, 2,
Do it.
1.
3, 2, 1.
Now.
And subscribe to the channel if you have not subscribed here yet already. I have no idea how such a thought-provoking discussion hasn't already convinced you to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Phil, where can they find you?
I am Phil That Remains on Twix. The band is All That Remains. You can follow us on YouTube, Apple Music, Amazon Music, Pandora, Spotify, and Deezer. Don't forget the left lane is for crime, guys.
I have ended the poll, and it looks like 64% of them say that her crash out was not valid.
Okay. I'm glad the majority is correct. You guys can send me validation on Instagram at MaryArchived, or you can send me hate on X. That is also MaryArchived. And to help me get TikTok famous, that is also MaryArchived. And I'm going to be making an appearance on Timcast IRL tonight, so you should tune in there. We have a few super chats left. Corey Anderson said, we came as Romans already covered it, Brent. I thought they covered Blank Space, but that was actually I Prevail.
Okay.
So you should at least listen to that. Shane H. Wilder said some Sony productions still use Vegas, although it is used a lot more in online streaming shows. Still my favorite, and I do all my work on it.
Okay, I'm so sorry, but that's really funny to me because Sony, as far as I know, unless they sold it, Sony owns Sony Vegas, so they're just too cheap to buy like other editors. Yeah. That's amazing.
Greg Duvier said, what if the network purposely puts the episodes out of order like Firefly?
That's just wickedness on their part. That's not what I'm talking about here. I'm talking about uploading episodes from a show that very clearly was not shown in that order. And then the thing is like that's happened to me with shows where then the episodes make no sense. Like I'm watching it. What was it? It was the TV version of the show Frequency was out of order. And I'm like watching it. I thought I was having a stroke. I'm like, they're talking like they're having full-on conversations about stuff that has not happened yet canonically because the episode's showing too early. And I'm like, what's going on? Someone
is confused about Phil's use of the word Twix. It's a mix between Twitter and X.
Yes. I even recently I kind of gave up and just went back to saying X, but it is what it is. I refuse to give in completely considering it calls itself X, formerly Twitter.
Yeah.
Guys, if you would like to follow me, I am on X and on Instagram at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. This show is here 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is, of course, noon Pacific. We are on Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify. If you like to listen rather than just watch this show, you can rate and review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify, which is a great way to help us out as well. If you want to follow us on social media, we are on Twix at popculture_show, Facebook at popculturecrisis, Instagram at popculturecrisisPod. I do want to give a heads up today, tomorrow, and I guess on Tuesday, I will be out of town starting next Wednesday through that entire, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then the following week after that. So Tate is going to be filling in for me here. We're going to have to lower the chair for him because he's way taller than me. But just giving you guys a heads up. I'll let you guys know again tomorrow. But the show should be running as normal. Correct. So we got one more super chat there.
From Shane H. Wilder. Sony sold Vegas to What is that?
Magix.
Magix
5 years ago. Oh, so with that case, so they sold Vegas, but then they still use it to make Sony movies. That's very interesting. All right. Well, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we will be back with another episode tomorrow. See you then.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.